Good morning. One quick thing before we get into the video. If you don't care about my art or getting your hands on any of it, skip to the timestamp on screen and that will take you to the main video. If you do like my art, this is the video for you because a lot of people have put in the comments that they would like somewhere to buy my art to support the channel, and I think that's a great idea. The problem with that is I will never run any sort of online store. I hate technology, I hate having to deal with stuff like that. But the good news is I have decided to make a bit of a compromise. So from here on out, at the beginning of each video, I am going to start by putting out anywhere from maybe 1 to 5 pieces that I've painted. And if you want to get your hands on one, shoot me an email at bettingonalaska@gmail.com with your name, what piece you would like, and your bid. There will be a bidding period of about 3 days, and at the end of those 3 days, I will email the winners back telling them that they won, and from there we can figure out payment and getting that shipped over to you right away. So if you like what I do here, and if you want to support the channel, please send me an email. All the money I make on these is going to go right back into the channel. I really want to do a couple buildings before fall, and fall is getting really close, so I thought this might be a good way to do it. So if that interests you, send me an email, and without further ado, let's get right into the video. In my considered opinion, there are 4 main food groups: meats, eggs, breads, and jellies. These make up the vast majority of what I eat on a regular basis. My cooking options are pretty limited around here, so I usually stick to dehydrated meals and low-effort dishes, which is to say breakfasts. I love breakfast food, a little too much really. But it's simple, it gets me most of what I need, it's just perfect. And one of the best parts about breakfast is jam. There are a few things more lovely in the morning than a piece of over-buttered pan-fried toast slathered in strawberry jam. It's just wonderful. And with that in mind, you may remember a few videos ago I went out and harvested a bunch of wild strawberries from the area along the road going to my property. I got about half a jar of them, and that was before they were really in season too, which got me thinking there was probably way more than enough to make something with them if I went out and picked some more. So I figured a great place to start would be with jam. So that's what I'm going to do today. When I had about a jar full of berries, I headed back to the cabin and got started on a fire. Jam is honestly a surprisingly easy thing to make, and I basically needed to boil my berries in sugar and a few other things until it thickens over the course of 20 minutes to about half an hour, depending on the temperature and amount you're making. As far as additional ingredients go, I'll just be using a lemon for juice and zest. One should be more than enough for the single jar worth of jam I'll be able to make. I'm a barely functioning adult, so I borrowed a zester from someone who is, and made some quick work of the rind before slicing it down the middle and getting it ready for squeezing. Next, I simply mixed in all my ingredients and cooked over whatever heat the stove was producing. I actually used less sugar than the recipe would call for. It just seemed kind of insane to have a strawberry to sugar ratio of roughly 1 to 1. And after I'd boiled it down as much as I thought was necessary, I got it poured and ready to go, but I didn't taste test it yet. I've still got a few more things to do.
Alright, mushroom hunting has been going fantastically, but there is a slight caveat to that. I do have an Alaska mushroom guide that I have been consulting extensively, and after a bit of looking around the immediate property, there are mushrooms everywhere. The problem is, I'm very new to mushroom hunting in general, and it would appear that every single species has about 4 or 5 lookalikes that are deadly poisonous. So everything that I've found thus far has been either impossible to ID or blatantly poisonous. Let me show you. Unable to positively ID, although I definitely have some guesses. Blatantly toxic, blatantly toxic, blatantly toxic, very blatantly toxic, 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 possibly okay. The book has quite a few different mushrooms that look like this, but you know, if I'm not 100% certain what it is, I'm not touching it. It appears almost every single thing that I have on my property or around my property is the stereotypical red mushroom with white dots that causes hallucinations and poisoning and all sorts of other nasty things, but I'm not gonna give up, so let's keep looking. I took a quick trip across the field behind my property to this little grove of trees that I knew would be the perfect place for mushrooms to grow, and it did not disappoint in that regard. Unfortunately, almost all of them were some variant of fly agaric, the poisonous, hallucinogenic ones, but I did manage to find 2 lovely green russulas. There are a few different species of these, but as far as I could find, they have no dangerous lookalikes, and I feel pretty safe using them for the dish I had planned.
Unfortunately though, the maggots got to him long before I could, and once again, I was out of luck for mushrooms. Yeah, I had actually found a couple other mushrooms that I had been able to confirm were edible, and I went and checked those too. They're both rotten. They're full of maggots, full of bugs. And you know, as much as I wanted to make mushrooms happen, I don't think it's gonna happen today. But it does make me want to do a full episode on mushroom hunting. So if you guys want to see that, please let me know. The season's about here, and I love walking around through the woods in the fall in the sort of overcast and rain. It's pretty great. But we still have a couple other things that we can still get, so let's go find those. I wanted to have some sort of breakfast with the stuff I'd collected, but up until now I haven't had any kind of drink, so I figured now was as good a time as any to retry Labrador tea. It's probably been more than a decade since I last had any, and since it grows everywhere around here, I wanted to put it to some good use.
Sorry I'm already eating this. I just filmed my reaction and then I realized my head was entirely out of frame. But this is amazing. This was so good. It's a little thinner than it probably is supposed to be. I definitely could have just cooked it longer and boiled it until it got a little bit thicker, but I'm perfectly fine with where it's at. It was so worth picking like 700 strawberries. The Labrador tea is very good as well. It's got a bit of a mintiness to it. I'm not sure if I used the right amount or too little or too much, but it's very nice. I'm not really a tea person, but I really love anything that I can take from around the property. That's just wonderful. It means a lot more to me that I can get it from just things that grow around here. I mean, it's, again, I'm not a tea person, but this tastes like every other tea I've ever had, really. You know, it's definitely in, I don't want to say in that family because there's so many different teas, but you know, it's very nice, very lovely, nice mild flavored. But this was really, really worth it. I do have one more thing I need to get though. I mean, this video is gonna go out in like an hour and a half, but I got time for one more thing. Let's go.
The strawberries are just about out of season at this point, but by complete accident, I discovered the blueberries are just about in.
These are basically just a snack on for now, but I will definitely be making stuff with them in the future. There's just so much to find out here. It's wonderful. I've had such a great time making this video, and I really mean that. Now that it's like 52 degrees every day and just like overcast and like light rain, it's so wonderful to just be out looking for all the stuff that you can find in nature. I'll definitely make some kind of dish with these. I have mushrooms soon. There's all sorts of stuff. I'll definitely be having more Labrador tea. That was great. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry it's been so long since I posted a video, but I had a great time making this one. Again, if you want to get your hands on some of my art, just shoot me an email with your bid on whichever one you'd like, and we'll see if you win. Anyway, that's gonna just about do it for me. I'm Mick, and until next time, toil for your food. You guys have a good day.